Hello and welcome everyone back to Chaos Child session number 6, it looks like, as we continue through this game and figure out what the heck is going on. It is been quite the tale so far. We are so close to the next murder and seeing what happens next, but our good pal Kurisu seems to be most off the case after his friend got attacked, and he's been actually focusing on school life. Good for him. But yeah, we'll see if anything actually happens when the murder is supposed to happen on the day of the festival, so who knows what's going to happen there. Although, I do have I wonder if I will have... I'm going to have a prediction. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Because I'm at this point, what would get Kurisu back? Is it Kurisu? I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. What would get him back on the case? And I'm like, well, if the murder happened to No. So I'm going to say No is going to be the next victim, which is what's going to inspire him to go. I have no idea. I'll say that right now. I'm just doing like a prediction type thing, but we'll see how it goes. Cat Evie with 100 bits. Thank you so much, saying Cool Cat Press Easter Edition. This week we have a promotion called Bonking for Apples. For every bonk, an apple comes your way. No, too many bonks and apples could be heading into spamming territories. Okay. But yeah, that is our prediction. But how is everybody doing this evening? I know not everybody has seen the Mario movie, but we managed to see it with Kai, and he did good. He lasted basically up until the Mario Kart sequence. Then he just sort of like, I think he was tired of sitting where he was. He was ready to move around, and just, thankfully we were in one of those theaters that had serves food. So there's a bit more room to move. So he would basically go between me and Amy for a bit, and we try to get him focused. But because of that, Amy and I missed bits and pieces of the finale. We saw most of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again, just to put it there. But yeah, he definitely... I think he enjoyed it. I really do. And Fawn56, thank you very much for that tier 1 subscription. 28 months. Cheers to that. Been playing Higurashi from Steam, and it's weird that a lot of visual novels focus on mystery murders. I mean, I think it's just the easy thing to do to sort of set it up. Yeah, Loyal Dingo, that's kind of where I'm at, where I see why critics didn't get into it, but I also just really enjoyed it. So, there you go. But yes, welcome everyone. Hopefully everyone had a good week, and always have to give another big thanks to Amy. So Kai's not been in the Kai. We've been trying to keep Kai to a sleeping schedule, but he always just gets so tired and kind of irritable. So I've been trying to let him take his naps when they happen, just to try to make it happen. But if he didn't, I don't know. He's going to be up late tonight for sure. But Amy's watching him now. We're trying to get him to drift off to sleep and whatnot. Just a guy. Critics are overrated. I take offense to that. As I consider myself a critic, some critics might be full of themselves, but I think for the most part, they're just giving their thoughts on the movies, and they've seen a lot of movies. Kai just needs to run around more. Yeah, we're just getting them all set. So, Meter Green, happy discounted spring candy day eve, everyone. Yes, I'm going. We'll see what the deals are like. I have to go food shopping. I usually do my food shopping on Sunday, but because it's Easter, couldn't do that. So it's tomorrow for me. So yeah, and yeah, I don't look at critics until after I experience it myself. So that's how it usually goes there. But yeah, that's how we're all at. Oh, Soy Sauce. Can't tune in since you're currently at a con and then going to watch Mario, but hope everyone has a great stream. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy that con, enjoy the movie, and check out the VOD. Make Kai Marathon the Pokemon anime. Yeah, you assume he stays in one place, but yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But yeah. All right. I forget exactly where we left off, but here we are. Okay, I'm turning them off. Wow, it's darker than I thought. You okay? You okay? Yeah, I think. Good night, everyone. All right, we're staying overnight because everybody works so long. Right, good night. Yeah, Takaru, that's it, not Subaru. I don't know where I got that in my head. Oh, hey, Pedro. Double feature with John Wick 4 in the Mario movie. Mood whiplash for sure. Yeah, I think a better pairing for Mario might have been Dungeons and Dragons. But hey, I've heard good. I'm a John Wick fan, so wouldn't mind seeing that too. I am Groot. Wow, I can't see a thing. Where's the chair? Oh, Hana, I stepped on you. I'm sorry. Oh, hey girl, thank you very much for the 400 bits saying I'll take that scythe. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Welcome to our new death. If Hana's there, that means that over here is... Ow! What was that, an elbow? Oh, I'm sorry, Shin. Huh? For what? That was me! Me! What? I don't know where I am. Something fell! Enough! Turn on the lights. Wait, no, open the curtain. Okay. My pinky toe! I banged my pinky toe. You know, usually it's the big toe. Oh, hey, Eddie. Very random, but I've recently been using the following tab on Twitch, and in case if you did not know, your future stream schedule is a little outdated. I need to remember to do that. I forget how to... I need to look into that, because I keep forgetting to change it. Whoops. Oh god, last. Broke your pinky toe once, had to use a boot. Ugh, that's awful. A dim light poured in from outside. I could see the outlines of the room. They're sleeping on cardboard? I had no idea what the hell Sarika had done, but she was rubbing her head and her pinky toe simultaneously. Ow! Hey, we can still sleep like this, right? If I'd known, I would have cleaned up a little first. It was almost a new day. You can't really do much for it? Yeah, you just gotta sort of wait, I guess. Since everybody had to be at a meeting early, I ended up staying at school after all. But since there were no beds, we had to sleep under our desks. Hey, do you two have a guy you like? Huh? I am Groot? Huh? What? I'm not asking you, I'm asking the girls. Where did this come from? Just answer me. Do you own away? Me? I like everybody. I don't mean like that. No, never mind. What about you, Kazuki? You expect to get an answer out of her. Don't try to sleep and eat dried squid at the same time. Then what about your first kiss? When was it? I haven't had it yet. Okay. What about you, Shin? When was yours? Never mind, I was a fool for expecting anything out of you two just because we were staying at school overnight. Okay then. Oh, I forgot. I should set the alarm for 5 AM, right? Oh my god. She fiddled with her smartphone as she talked. I am Groot. Huh? Hana? What's wrong? Huh? Was that voice Hana? I never heard her laugh before. What was so... Wait a second. Onoe's face? Huh? Why? Is there something wrong with my face? The light from the phone screen lit up Sarika's face in the darkness like a horror movie. She must have been waving her hand because it would appear, then disappear, then reappear again. I am Groot! What? What? How is that funny? I couldn't help but agree with him. Did she love horror, or did she look like an enemy character in an MMO? Is there something wrong with my face? Kazuki burst out laughing as Sarika moved closer to her. What's so funny? What's so funny? Sarika said as she moved closer. Then for some reason they started to tickle each other. I'm glad you're such good friends. Okay. A lot had happened today, and they were all new experiences to me. You can have fun without trying to solve the case, can't you? Maybe I could. Takaru, promise me when you're done with the case. Come home. There's a lot of things I want your help with. If I wanted to, I could go back to the orphanage and live the same life as everyone else. Or could I? Oh, goody. We're going to skip. We're just going to keep going because I just realized we're only on chapter 3. We're on session 6, and this is going to be just... This already seems like it's going to be a longer game, so we're going to just keep going. Hey, no running. Hey, stop screwing around and sleep, girls. Why do girls like to touch each other so much? It's not like you guys are lovers. Stop it. Me and Ito are right next to you. Don't forget that. Oh. Ito took out his phone. The LCD screen lit up. What's up? I forgot. It's almost midnight. Oh. Okay. Ito stood up and started to fiddle with the club's PC. Hello, it's midnight, October 10th, 2015. Welcome everyone, I'm your host, Kay. Is Persona 3 the longest game so far? Yes. I believe there's 11 chapters in total, but Soy Sauce did say they got shorter as time went on, so we'll see how it all goes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard a familiar voice. It's a little cold tonight, isn't it? It seems like autumn is upon us. How are you all doing? Now then, the reason for today's broadcast is, I'm sure all of you know already, don't you? Today is October 10th. 6 years ago, the vampire incident occurred today. She was right. I'd totally forgotten. Today was October 10th. Somewhere in Shibuya, probably in the next 24 hours, someone would... No, I just thought about this, right? I could live the same life as everyone else, so I could just forget about the case. A phone call? Who could it be at this hour? Ito froze as he looked at the phone. Oh, Smash Matt, thank you very much for the 100 bits, Smash Matt. Says, came at an interesting time. Anyway, hopefully you liked the Mario movie, Derek. No spoilers for me, but I loved it. Yeah, we all really enjoyed it as well. It was a good time. Definitely a good time. Shin? I'll explain what happened once more. Kei's voice suddenly vanished. Ito had muted it. His hands were shaking a little. Huh? Oh, shit. What the hell is going on? With what? The call. It's from you. Oh, we got the cell phone happening now. Oh boy. Huh? It took me a minute to understand what he was saying. Then he showed me the screen. Look at this. The screen read, Takaru Miyashiro. You're kidding me. What's going on? My phone was locked. No, wait. I called the company and had them shut off the account. What do we do with this, huh? I didn't know what to do. Oh, I definitely wasn't expecting this. What was that? Those are the people that has our phone. Should I ignore it? I promised Kurisu that I'd give up the case. No, wait. Was now really the time for that? My mind raced, but I couldn't come up with an answer. The next thing I knew, I grabbed the phone from Ito and answered it. There was silence. As everyone held their breath and watched me, I put my ear up to the phone and heard nothing. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat. At some point, my breathing had become shallow and pained. I leaned against a nearby desk just to give myself some means of support. The person on the other end of the phone said nothing. What do I do? What do I do? Damn it, what the hell was going on? Say something! Say something, you idiot! Who are you? My voice was shaking so much it was pathetic. Everyone was perfectly still as they watched. It was no good. I couldn't hear anything. Oh God, it's the knocking. Okay, when this game ramps up the like tension, it really does a good job of that. Hey, what's wrong? I dropped the phone and fell to my knees. Sarika had come over towards me. I grabbed her and held her tight. I was so scared. So scared. It's that sound. The knocking sound I heard when I was at the hotel. I frantically rubbed the ear that had been holding up to the phone, but it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't go away. That sound. My chest was filled with foreboding. I'd snuck into that hospital and they'd stolen my phone. Didn't that count as something really bad? So, they build up these very tense scenes and then they just sort of stop sometimes. That's like, come on. Sorry, something in my teeth. It's 9:30. Everyone, are you ready? It's time for the 3rd annual Hekiho Academy Culture Festival to begin. Hooray! 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 All the students in the gym roared as soon as Kawahara finished. Cheerful music began to fill the room, and students in costumes who probably belonged to some club or another began to dance. Half of the students watched them and laughed as they left the gym. They were probably the students in charge of the classroom displays and stalls in the courtyard. Kazuki looked over at me to see if I was okay. Yeah, well, I'm okay. Even if it was a lie, it was all I could bring myself to say. I couldn't smile. Because of her talents, Kazuki was asked to handle the audio system along with me for the Student Council's opening ceremony. The rest of the Student Council, except for Kawahara, as well as Sarika and Ito, should have left during the ceremony to patrol the school. It was only going to get really busy when the school opened to the public at 10 a.m., about 30 minutes from now. When that happened, people from outside the school would be allowed in, and many different events would be held. Oh, Smash Matt, thank you very much for the gift sub going to Nightbot. Thank you so much. I had to do my job too, but I couldn't bring myself to get out of the chair. I am Groot. Huh? I am Groot. Kazuki offered me a lollipop. Oh, no. She thought for a moment and took out a piece of dried squid from who knows where. I'm Groot? No, that's not... Fine, I'll take it. I grabbed the lollipop and stood up. Kazuki stayed to handle the audio. She might have problems communicating, but there were other members of the student council and she'd probably be fine. Thanks. I'm Groot. I am Groot. We're showing a student film in the AV room on the second floor of the special use building. Tickets are 100 yen. Pamphlets are free. Starting at 9:30 a.m., we're playing comedy tennis at the tennis court on the roof. Get fired up. I ignored the advertisements and headed to my destination. After that... Need an I am Groot emote. Ito had picked up the smartphone and called the number back, but no one had picked up. There was only the message that played when you shut off your service. The customer has requested that this number be temporarily disabled. We talked for a while, but none of us had any good ideas. By 3 a.m., we had settled on participating in the culture festival like normal, and then lay down on our desks to get some sleep. But I couldn't sleep. I was too nervous. Yeah, kind of like that, Time Sage. That's cute. We need quite a lot of sub points if we're going to get another remote, though. I'll say that. In the end, I didn't get a wink of sleep and was only half awake for the opening ceremony and final check of the class's video. In the morning, I'd passed Arimura in the hallway. She had the smile on her face that she wore when she was with her friends. That only made me more nervous, and as I was still nervous right now. I didn't yawn even once. I did. I'll do it for you. Ugh, excuse me. I could see Sarika patrolling the stalls near the gate through the open doors of the school. Come to think of it, she'd said she hadn't slept well either. If someone with her appetite was ignoring all the tasty treats for sale at the food stalls, she must have been telling the truth. I mean, you also went to bed at 3 and woke up at 5:30. That's really not a lot of sleep. Sarika had made contact with them at the hospital too. How were they able to call when I shut off my phone? No, I should stop thinking about it. I'd asked myself all these questions already. Why had they called Ito? How were they able to? Was there a reason they called at the start of the day of the New Generation Madness? Should I go to the police? But would they believe me? And I hadn't come up with answers for any of those questions. I could hear loud murmurs in the distance. Hey, near the back gate. They say Watabe's here. All right, I forgot all about this interview. Wow. Yeah, so 556. Basically, the plan for the next subathon right now. I won't be able to hold it until I finish up my next big video, and that's on a time crunch. So I will hopefully be able to do it either late this month or early next month. So we'll see how that all goes. I definitely want to do it soon, but I just gotta get that taken care of and then be able to nail down the details of exactly what the subathon is going to be. We're doing the SMB3 randomizer or TMNT taste test special. We also thought about just doing a bunch of randomized games from that I have on my Switch. So again, I'm still trying to figure it out. That way we have makes sense, have some good rewards, that sort of stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll get it finalized when I get done with this project I'm on. Seriously, let's go see. Let's go see. He was early. The meeting was supposed to be at 1 p.m. Oh wait, he was going to do an article on the Culture Festival itself, right? Taku, you're not going? Oh. At some point, Sarika had walked up behind me. Was she on patrol? I'll see him later anyway. It doesn't matter. And suddenly she got very close to me. What? You need to be more energetic. Are you still thinking about what happened yesterday? Of course I am. I'd be crazy not to be thinking about it. You were looking gloomy until a moment ago, too. When I'd seen her just a second ago, she looked really glum, but for some reason she looked better now. She looked surprised that I'd seen her, and then... that's true, but if that's how it is, then don't we just have to solve the case before something happens? Huh? Finding the truth together, all 5 of us, is the newspaper club's motto, right? I never heard that motto before. Yeah, I've had other subathon plans for like the Turtles thing, but I think I had a vote and people were more interested in a sort of randomizer where I switched between games in some fashion. Again, we're still finalizing it to be, have ideas. You can do it, Taku. After giving me a completely baseless motivational speech, she went back to her patrol. God, I hate how reading out loud a lot somehow makes me yawn. You can do it, Taku. Takaru, promise me when you're done with the case. Come home. There's a lot of things I want your help with. He's getting pulled in 2 different directions. Serika taking him one way and Nono taking him another. For now, I needed to get through this interview. First, there was the video to talk about, and then the sumo sticker with a different face. It would be great if I could ask Watabe what that meant, too. I took a deep breath and started to go over the interview in my head. Trouble speaking there. No sign of him, huh? Huh? I wonder what happened to Watabe. I am Groot. It was already 1:15 p.m. The interview was supposed to start at 1 p.m. Everyone had heard that Watabe, the famous journalist, was going to be here. The audience's seats in the gym were packed. There were even people standing. Everyone in the newspaper club except Kurisu had arrived, and we were waiting below the stage. All the preparations were complete. But there was no sign of Watabe himself. He was in the waiting room, right? Oh yeah, he came to say hello about an hour ago. What was he doing? Did he get nervous and have to go to the bathroom? I did. Huh? Between you and me, I've lost count of how many trips that I've made to the bathroom today. I don't think I can do this. I can't talk in front of all these people. It's too late for that. Too late for that now, man. Sure, but I couldn't help but be nervous. I wasn't any good at dealing with crowds or people I didn't know. But now I was going to have to deal with both. Take the hint. Okay, Ito, you're the club president now. You do it. Don't be stupid. Ito laughed away an offer that I made in all seriousness. He stood up from his chair. Still, he's really late. Everybody's getting tired of waiting. What's the student council doing? Watabe was supposed to be getting the VIP treatment, and it was the student council's job to take care of him. But with Kurisu gone, they were probably having a hard time keeping up with all their work. From what I'd heard, without Kurisu there to keep the peace, fights and arguments were breaking out everywhere. That only went to show how much everyone relied on her. Oh, fine, I'll go get him. Oh, Shin, wait, I'll go too. Oh, hey? Don't leave me and Kazuki here alone. Neither of us are capable of talking to anyone. What if Watabe came while they were gone? What would we do then? He makes a good point. I am Groot. But Serika and Ito went off to the waiting room without us. This was a problem. Oh, it hasn't started yet, huh? Huh? Yo, hey there. Oh, it was just Arimura. Come to think of it, she'd asked me to ask Watabe about that picture. He's really late, huh? Oh, yeah, they're going to get him now. Watabe's the target. Watabe's gonna die. He fits all the stuff of the other murders so far. Online presence, rising star. I bet it's gonna be Watabe. Oh, right. Arimura, I wanted to ask you something. What? What? You wanted me to ask Watabe about that image, right? You mean the one of the sumo sticker at the Love Hotel, right? We're interested in that too. How much do you know about it? Arimura looked serious for just a moment, but then she grinned. That information's gonna cost you, mister. You're making me pay? Of course, 50 million in cash, directly deposited into my Swiss bank account. Stop acting like a little kid and tell me. I'll do my best to get something out of Watabe, so help us out too. Hey, boss. Huh? I've told you, you don't need to be so self-conscious around me. I'm going to keep saying that until you fix it. Huh? Oh, yes ma'am. She changed the subject. Arimura was incredibly interested in Watabe's picture of the sumo sticker. Did she think that if I questioned him about it, she might gain some valuable information? I considered this as I watched her twin tails bounce in the air. And then suddenly, the curtain on the stage began to rise. I could start to see the bottom of the lectern and the chairs. Huh? Huh? Your next victim 10 senses are tingling. Looking forward to Danganronpa 2 now. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Danganronpa 2 should be an interesting experience for sure. Hey, Horizon. Hey, it's starting. Where are the others? There was no message from the student council, and we had no idea what to do as we watched the curtain rise. Finally! You're late, Watabe! Fangirls? As the curtain rose, the gym was filled with cheers and boos of the students. Ito! Oh no, wait, what are you doing? Get back here! Huh? Suddenly, Arimura spoke. Huh? What's wrong? Look, something's wrong. She pointed to the stage. I looked up toward it. Huh? Watabe had come up the stairs backstage and was walking toward the podium. Yep. Oh, yep. Get ready for something disturbing. Oh, God. Look at his chest. The heck happened to him? But he was staggering and struggling to stay up, and he looked like he was in pain. There was thick sweat on his forehead, and something that looked like drool was dripping down from his lips. But what was even stranger was his stomach. How to describe it? The spot between his ribs and his hips, right where his stomach and intestines would be, was all swollen up. You heard the word beer belly a lot, but it was worse than that. It was as if someone had stuck a giant rubber ball under his shirt. The students saw this and started to whisper. The voices grew louder and louder. Oh, God. His moans grew louder as he reached the center of the stage. Just listening to them was enough to make you go crazy. What is that? What the heck is that? I don't know. The whole gym, including the three of us, started to get louder. Yeesh. Oh yeah, Amy, you do not want to see this. Way to scar a bunch of children. The students' screams echoed in my ears. Some people were trampled in the mad dash for the exits. But as everyone else was panicking, Arimura and I stood there in silent shock. No. Something was pouring out of Watabe's mouth, mixed with his blood and stomach fluids. Amy, if you're still here, get the heck out. We were getting into the disturbing stuff. It had a face. Of course, it wasn't Watabe's face. It was something we'd seen many times before. What was it? I knew it well, but it took me a few seconds to understand. And then... Oh, God! Sumo stickers? Arimura began to scream, her voice joining the cacophony created by the other screaming students. Whew. Okay. I mean, it's the face. That was definitely a bit disturbing. 12:28 p.m. in an unused classroom at Hekiho Academy. Are we going to get a flash to what happened to him? Can you wait here? It's so empty. Yeah, we're going to see what's going to... Oh, we're going from his perspective. Oh boy, this ought to be something. No, it's my fault for coming early. Watabe bowed, and the man who led him here from the teacher's office bowed back. Then the man left the room. He'd forgotten the man's name as soon as he'd heard it. All he remembered is that he was a typical high school teacher with somewhat delicate features. That was all Watabe thought he needed to know. Still, this place really is empty. He heard that Hekiho was famous, but once he'd gotten inside, he found that it was just a normal high school, maybe a little cleaner than most. He'd seen a TV crew from some station interviewing a student on his way here, but he couldn't imagine there was anything worth asking one. Well, I guess there are some people here who are worth something. Since his ostensible reason for being here was to do an article on the Culture Festival, he had to take a few pictures. Since it didn't matter what pictures he took, he decided to just walk through the school. As he went by a class that was doing some kind of Garo Froggy cafe, there was a bit of a fuss. Student after student had asked him for handshakes and autographs. Almost the entire class had known his name. He'd even taken a selfie with a girl who said she was a huge fan of his. When he told her to keep it a secret, she'd given him an innocent smile. That was the way it should be. That was the normal way. That was the way normal people were supposed to act. I'm going to get even bigger. It was only a short while ago that an online friend of his had suggested he come here. When he'd been putting together what he'd found out about the sumo stickers, those frickin' brats at the newspaper club here had published just before he did. He'd given up on publishing his own article, but at least decided to show it to someone. When he let his friends see it, they'd suggest he publish it anyway. True, he was confident in the article itself. He'd gotten a very good picture of the sumo sticker at the Love Hotel, which the newspaper club had only been able to get from a distance. There was a chance he'd be called out for plagiarism, but then his friend had continued. You're capable of turning that to your advantage, right? His friend knew him well. At the end of the day, they're still just a high school club. Everything would depend on how he handled the interview, but Watabe was confident he could use this to bolster his fame. The ideal result would be to show that the newspaper club were the ones who had copied him. They uploaded their newspaper to Nika Nia all the time, so they were sure to know who he was. If he offered them the chance to help with his articles, they'd jump on it no matter what demands he made. He started off at the very bottom, and he'd worked his way up this far. He was capable of getting any scoop he wanted. His power was a blessing from heaven for a man who wanted to be a first-rate journalist. In the whole history of journalism, there had never been a case where a net reporter had identified a suspect ahead of the cops, the news, or the magazines. So, we are seeing a pattern here with somebody, again, on the rise of fame. The first one was definitely full of himself. The second one, not so much. The third, definitely. When a writer at a weekly magazine had found a suspect before the police, the whole of Japan went into an uproar. Watabe wanted to surpass that. The only other thing I need for it to be perfect is connections with the police. His one worry was the Love Hotel incident. When he charged into the crime scene and got into a fight with the cops there, his camera had gone out of focus and he'd failed to get part of the sumo sticker. He used that to get this scoop, but if someone on the police force was paying attention to those stickers, and if they were enough of a weirdo to be paying careful attention to Watabe's articles, they might find something strange. Well, it's probably not that different. People didn't really want to hear the truth. They wanted lies that sounded true, embellished so they were all the more pleasing. Ah, that damn knock! Thoughts on Pokemon Y, Alpha Sapphire, Moon, or Ultra Moon? What do you mean, Caddy B? As far as which is the best between those? My preference between all those is Moon. When he heard the sound, he quickly flipped himself back into hard-working, good-natured reporter mode. Yes, come in. Come in. They didn't open the door, nor did they say anything. Watabe grunted, soft enough that they couldn't hear, and then put on a smile as he went to answer the door. What is that? What is that? I don't know. So he seemed to like realize that he. By the way, how is the sound levels for this? Since things are a little bit more intense. Okay, audio is good. Okay. So yeah, the implication for him seems to be that he didn't get a clear enough picture, so he just took a picture of some random sumo sticker, hoping that people wouldn't realize the difference. We're getting a lot of screams. The students all started to panic at once, and the gym was filled with screams. Then Watabe's body fell to the floor as if in slow motion. His legs were splayed. His eyes were open wide, still full of the terror of death. He was weeping tears of blood. And... that's... no way. Sumo stickers? Yes, it was a huge pile of sumo stickers. Watabe was probably already dead, but there were still crumpled sumo stickers pouring out of his mouth. My heart was racing. Beads of cold sweat had formed on my back. I felt a scream welling up in my throat, but something held it back. The police! My phone! Watabe's eyes were motionless, pointing toward nothing in particular. I wanted to look away from this madness, but I couldn't. What's the number for the police? That's right, 117. No, wait, the police were... Wait, what was it? Maybe it was 119? I pushed a button too fast. When we heard the voice, we were finally able to tear our eyes away from Watabe's body. There was a female student making her way towards us, past the crowds fleeing towards the exits. A female student? No, she felt too grown up for that. And she was wearing here she is. And she was wearing... Here's how they meet. And she was wearing a white lab coat. Between that and the sharp look in her eyes, part of me thought she might be a coroner. What happened here? She slowly looked around the gym. Her gaze stopped at Watabe's body. What is that? And then without moving an eyebrow, she said, "Did you do that?" Chapter 4. We are getting through the chapters a little quicker. I see. So the victim, Watabe, didn't arrive at the gym on time. That's right. So you three, Miyashiro, Kazuki, and Arimura, were waiting when he suddenly appeared on the stage, and then it happened. That's correct? Yes. I am Groot. After that, things happened fast. The black-haired woman called Detective Shinjo, who contacted the police station. Since our club was supposed to have an interview with him, we were questioned in our club room. During the questioning, we could hear students yelling outside and the sounds of dozens of patrol car sirens, but soon it all faded back into silence. The police had probably sealed off the whole school. There had been no announcement about what was going to happen with the culture festival, but after what had happened, there was no way it wouldn't be shut down. Well, that's not good. Well, 1 month, just a guy, 1 month later would be the last of the murders. We have a month of murders left. So what then? Ito and Onoe went to the room where Watabe was waiting before it happened, right? You two didn't see him? Huh? Am I a suspect? That's what Ito must have thought because he suddenly started acting strange. But there was no one in the waiting room, right, Onoe? Yeah, it was empty. What about the student council? Someone was supposed to be taking care of him, right? They weren't there either. Sarika must have been surprised by the sudden question because she started to fiddle with her Garo Froggy cell phone strap. Hey, you. Huh? That sound is annoying. Stop it. Huh? Sorry. She must have only just then realized that she was doing it because she quickly took her hand away from the strap. Onoe, calm down. No one thinks you did it. Yeah, thank you, Taku. Arimura, is what those two are saying true? Yes, they're telling the truth. It looks like there was really no one else there. There was no doubt in her voice. From the look on her face, you'd think she knew the whole story. And for some reason, Shinjo seemed to believe her. I see. Got it. He'd believed every word Arimura had said during the entire questioning. It was kind of strange. Did the two of them trust each other that much? I guess I'll ask you again. I'll ask you as well, Arimura. What were you doing before you went to the gym? What are you talking about? I was with you two until just before that. Did you forget? If so, I would recommend a thorough scan of your brain. Oh, no, of course I know that. I just have to ask. Shinjo scratched his head as if he didn't know how to respond. I take that back. There clearly wasn't any trust between the two of them. In fact, he didn't seem to know how to handle her. Then, why would he trust what she said? Something felt strange. And there was one more thing. Arimura had said that she was with Shinjo until right before she came into the gym. But there had been barely any time between Watabe's appearance on the stage and Shinjo's arrival. So what had Shinjo been doing at the culture festival? Did he know something was going to happen? And then he'd gotten in touch with Arimura ahead of time? From what I'm seeing, the odds of you people being involved in this death are low. But then who killed Watabe and how? Did you see anyone suspicious when he was going up on stage? No, no one. What about you? The black-haired girl had been leaning against the wall with her arms crossed. She looked up. Unfortunately, no. By the time I got there, the place was already in a panic. Her voice was as mature and calm as her appearance. She was probably a third-year student, but I'd never seen her around the school before. Maybe the white lab coat was because she was part of the biology club or the science club, but what would a student be doing here with a detective? What a nuisance. If you people had been the killers, this would have been nice and easy. What does that mean? It means what I said. From where I sit, you look a lot more suspicious than me. I'm not the killer. Well, you should know better than anyone if I'm lying. Arimura was clearly annoyed. Hey, cornflakes. But the black-haired girl didn't seem to care in the slightest. No, Kunasato. That's enough. Her name was Kunasato then. Evidently she knew Arimura, but it was clear from their conversation that the two of them didn't get along. And for some reason... Hey, you. Huh? Yeah, me? Who else is there? Well, what have you been staring at? Nothing. Then look down at something. You're bothering me. Oh, okay. I didn't know why, but Kunosato seemed to have it out for me too, not just Arimura. Fortunately, it's not buffered for me this time, so it's no drop frames, thank God. What was going on here? What did I do? I'd never even met this girl before. Why would she act like this? What do semicolons mean in coding since I see the title trope elsewhere? I have no idea, I'll be honest. No, wait a minute. Or was I wrong and we'd actually met somewhere before? Did I do something to tick her off then? It was no good. I tried to remember and couldn't. But strangely, her voice. It felt like I'd heard that voice somewhere before. But where? It's no good. I can never remember things when it really matters. It was really bugging me. There was nothing so useless as information that was inside you, but that you couldn't retrieve when you needed it. Information was only valuable if you could use it. Anyway, let me just check this one more time. You were below the stage, waiting for the interview to begin, but Watabe didn't show up on time, so Ito and Onoe went to check on him. A while later, Watabe came up on stage and collapsed. Is that correct? Yes. I suddenly remembered the way Watabe had looked. His eyes were out of focus, but full of terror. He was weeping tears of blood. His hand was stretched out as if seeking help, and the sumo stickers poured out of his mouth, covered in blood and vomit. It was a bizarre scene. I looked over at Arimura, and she must have remembered it too, because she was wincing. Blood was coming out of both eyes. He was vomiting something up from his mouth. That something was those strange stickers they call sumo stickers, right? Is forensics doing their job right now, Shinjo? When's the autopsy? Hey, not in front of the children. In front of the children, huh? Kunosato snorted, annoyed. Well, anyway, all of you in the newspaper club have an alibi. You don't need to worry. I breathed a sigh of relief. Even if I knew I was innocent, I'd still be terrified of being arrested anyway. But you, Arimura, and Kazuki were all witnesses to the death. I'm sorry, but the officer in charge at the station wants your help with the paperwork. Right. You're taking me down there whether I want to go or not, right? No, you aren't suspects. We just want your cooperation, you see. That's what you said last time, wasn't it? Anyway, what is it with you people? Shinjo brushed his hand through his bangs. He hadn't cut his hair for a while. Huh? With what? First, there was Kakita's death. Then that other girl, Nono Kurisu, got stabbed. Whenever something weird happens lately, you're involved. Is this just a coincidence? Well, he was right. Even ignoring what happened to Kurisu, this was another potential homicide like Revolving Dead. But we were just innocent bystanders. I knew that better than anyone. It's really just a coincidence. A coincidence? Kunosato interrupted me. Is it really a coincidence? Is there a chance that there's something that's making all of this happen around you and you just don't know what it is? I tried to say something back to her, but couldn't. Her eyes were that cold when she looked at me. Damn it, what was with this girl? I was starting to get angry, and that was enough to get me to open my mouth. Did I... What? But I regretted it immediately. She was scary. Well, if you want to say something, say it. You're wasting time. Then I'll ask you, did I do something to upset you? Huh? You seem to really dislike me. Oh, no. If it's my imagination, I'm sorry. You shouldn't worry about it. She's like that to everyone. To everyone? Was that true? That was okay then. Not to everyone, only to you people. To us people? Yeah, that's right. You people. Did she mean me and Arimura? Or Have we met before somewhere?
どこかで
No, this is the first time I've ever seen your irritating, gloomy face.
初めてだ
Damn it. Then why did she have to be such a bitch? Anyway, given the nature of the death, it's possible this is related to the other incidents. So it's the return of the new generation madness. The strange way that Watabe had died, and then the fact that today was October 10th. Just like Shinjo said, it was possible that there was a connection. Yeah, we'll have to wait for the autopsy to know for sure, but the date and nature of the crimes match. By the way, Miyashiro, can I ask you a question? Oh, yes. What is it? Did you put together that board? Shinjo was looking at the map that we'd put together to follow the case. Yes, that's right. May I take a look? Shinjo stood up without waiting for my answer and walked over to the board. Kunisada moved away from the wall and followed him. What do you think of this? Good question. The two of them started to whisper to each other. I tried to listen in, but I couldn't make it out. With nothing else to do, I whispered to Arimura. Does Kunisada go to our school? For some reason, Arimura was staring at me in surprise. Did I do something weird? No, you've just stopped being so self-conscious. Oh. I must have been so distracted by everything else that was going on that I didn't think. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... No, it's fine. I've been telling you to stop for a while now. Fine, I guess. I mean, fine. Arimura? Huh? Just call me Arimura. Okay, Arimura. First, the two of us had been together at the scene of Watabe's death, and now we had that strange, arrogant woman angry at us. The enemy is my friend. Maybe that's why I was finally able to talk to her normally. So, what were we talking about? Oh, her. The two of them were still talking about something in front of the map I'd made. You don't know? She's a third-year student like you, though I guess she almost never comes to school. She doesn't come to school. She's a truant? I don't know that much. So she was in my grade, but I was sure I'd never seen her at the school. Ito and Kurisu had a lot of connections. Would they know her? Anyway, who is she? She doesn't seem to like us. I don't know. Wait, you know her, right? I just met her a while ago and don't know the details. Just... Our conversation was cut off by the sudden sound of a phone. Excuse me. Things are definitely happening, but I wonder how this is all going to progress from here. Shinjo took his phone out of his pocket. It was an old Japanese flip phone. He still used one of those in 2015. I started to worry about whether a wrong-sider like that was capable of solving this case at all. Jeez. Oh, I see. Got it. I'll be on my way. Someone must have told him to go somewhere. He folded up his phone and put it back in his pocket, then turned to face us. We're leaving now. Someone will be here to pick you up later, I'm sure. I do hope that you'll help us, okay? All right. Come on, don't look so annoyed. I'll make sure it doesn't take much time. Anyway, I'm counting on you. Shinjo motioned to Kunisado and the two of them left the room. As she left, Kunisado gave us one last cold glance. And the room fell silent. No one felt like talking, so we started to take out our phones or read magazines. He said it would be a while before the police would arrive to pick us up. The only thing we could do was kill time. Hey. I tried to talk to Arimura, but she either didn't hear me or was ignoring me. She was playing with her phone too. She seemed to be trying to get in touch with someone. It looked like she had a lot of friends, so she may have been asking what happened with the culture festival. Maybe I'll go over the case again. Hey, Taku? Sarika stopped me as I started to head for the board. What is it, Onoe? What's a psychic? Huh? Psychic? Wait, psychic? Like those con artists you see running dingy little shops? Couldn't be. Oh, my dad used a flip phone for a very long time. Although, not as often, not as recently as Mito Green. Holy cow. You mean like in a comic book or something, right? No, just now. Shindo?
新庄さんか
Shinjo, you mean? Yeah, Shinjo was just talking about them with the girl in the white lab coat.
お前
You could hear them.
聞こえたのか
It was true that the two of them had been mumbling in front of the board. I could barely hear it, but Sarika was evidently able to make out some words from where she was sitting. Something about the strange phenomenon of the sumo stickers and psychics. I wonder if it has something to do with the case. If they were talking about it now, then of course it had something to do with the case. But still, psychics? Like a mind reader or something? Or someone who could move stuff with his brain? They didn't think this was all being caused by psychics with superpowers or something, did they? I don't know. Japan loves its psychics for mystery stuff. There's no way the police would seriously think that, right?
聞き間違いじゃ
You
ない
sure you didn't mishear it? I am Groot. Both Ito and Kazuki were looking at her questioningly. I don't know. I heard it pretty clearly, I think.
なあ有村
Hey, Arimura, do you know any idea what she's talking about?
ないか
She spent time with Shinjo, maybe she knew, but...
有村
Arimura? Huh? Oh, what's that? I don't watch anime. She didn't seem really interested. Well, that's what most people our age would think when they heard the word psychic.
おのえ
Oh, anyway, did you hear anything else they said?
新庄さんたちの
Anything else? She was about to open her mouth, but then the sound of the door opening cut her off. Hey, Miyashiro, Kazuki, are you here? Arimura too.
先生
Sir? Good, good, you're here. We're on our way to the station. Huh? I thought the police were coming to get us. I'm going with you. You're not criminals and you're students at the school. If the police want to talk with you, I think it makes sense for me to take you there. Well, aren't I a good teacher? I'm starting to wonder. We don't have a lot of information yet. But if I have to make a prediction about who the murderer is, I'm going Wakui. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to say Wakui's behind it. I don't know. Just a sense I got. He has a portrait and he seems unimportant other than just being around. So, I don't know. Strikes me as odd. As if he did, and plus he doesn't really do much. As if he'd ever actually done anything for us as our advisor. But still, I felt just a little relieved. Alright, let's go. Oh, Ito and Oe. You two are to go home immediately. Got it?
ういっす
Right. Okay. The two of them started to get ready.
先生
Sir,
なんだい
what is it?
その
What's going to happen with the culture
文化祭はどうな
festival?
るんでしょう
さあ
I don't know. They're having a meeting about it right
会議中
now.
でどうなるかはまだわからないね
That's all he said before he left the room. It was strange. Why had I asked that?
文化祭なんて
I don't care about this culture festival
どう
anyway.
でもよかったの
You're lying, aren't you?
Huh?
Huh? Lying? How? I wanted to ask what she meant, but it was clear that she wasn't going to tell me. Just a guy. The murderer will be revealed. The sucker comes out of her mouth with an evil "I am Groot." She followed Wakui out into the hallway.
どうかした
What's wrong, Miyashiro? I could hear him from outside the room. I am Groot. Kazuki made a "let's go" gesture and looked at my face. There's something I wanted to know, no matter what. What Sarika had just said about Shinjo and Kunosato seriously discussing the word psychics. Wakui's entrance had interrupted our conversation, but I wasn't sure if it was really okay to write the idea off as silly nonsense.
すみません
Excuse me, if we're going to the police station, it's going to take a lot of time, right?
結構時間
そうなる
Probably, yeah.
だったら貴重
Then
品
can I
とか
gather up my
持って
things and take them with me?
持っていてもいいです
I don't want to
か
leave them here.
オッケー
ああ、確かに。
Oh, you're right. Aramora, you go to your classroom and get your things too. I'll wait at the entrance.
はい。
Okay. I listened to the two of them walk away. Okay, that should buy me a little time.
おい。
Hey, Onoe?
お
Hmm?
どうしたの
What is it, Taku?
タク
Shh. Tell me about what we talked about before. Can you tell me more? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we're back to Amy and Max Katie. Where is the target? Being questioned for their involvement in the case. A suspect? It appears unlikely, but they may have finally noticed. Understood. Continue. Of course. Wonder what that's all about. Shinjo grimaced. The smell of death was enough to make him nauseous. Tomoaki Watabe's body had been taken to a university hospital and put on an autopsy table less than 2 hours after his death. Normally, an autopsy would never be held this quickly. There was paperwork that needed to be filled out, and the family needed to agree. But Watabe's death was so bizarre that the cause of death needed to be found out as soon as possible. Shinjo had taken a hard line with his superiors and used rather forceful methods to get the family's permission to perform a lightning-fast autopsy. The police force as a whole seemed determined to avoid a repeat of the failures 6 years ago. But what was truly unexpected was Kunisato's statement that she would attend the autopsy as well. Since he couldn't let a civilian, especially a high school girl, attend an autopsy unsurprised, he had been forced to go with her. Unsupervised, I guess it was. The hospital's autopsy room was kept clean and very different from the musty atmosphere you often saw in foreign movies. But to Shinjo, the invisible smell of death was still thick in the air. It was nothing like seeing a body at a crime scene. It was almost physically uncomfortable. But Mio Kunisato, as near as he could tell, didn't seem bothered at all. Shinjo and Kunisato were watching from the autopsy from the waiting room next door. The wall had glass to allow them to see into the room. The external and internal examinations had been completed, and now they were opening up the stomach and examining it. Did you expect this to happen?
要件
Expect? Why did you say why did you say you were going to see Watabe's interview today? Not only that, you ordered Hine Aramura to make contact with Watabe yesterday. Don't tell me you're actually the one behind all this, okay?
そうできる
If I could do it, maybe I would.
いいかもな
Shinjo couldn't tell if she was serious or not. He'd spent the last several days with her, but he still had no idea what she was thinking.
渡部が殺されるかもし
I
れ
had
ない
thought that Watabe might be killed. I told Aramura to make contact with him so that I could be
死に
sure.
変えるためにだが
But I certainly didn't expect that he
ま
would
さ
be
か
killed
今日殺され
today.
るという予想はし
What would you learn when Hine Aramura made contact with Watabe? She didn't answer him. Even though he was sharing police information with her, would it really kill her to be a little more cooperative?
渡部はあの若さで
Don't you think Watabe's gotten a few too many scoops for a reporter his age? Yeah, why? Just as he spoke, he could hear the a muffled moan from the coroner. What the? There were microphones in the autopsy room that would let them hear anything said there. What's wrong? I can't believe this. What's going on? Shinjo pounded on the glass and motioned for the coroner to explain. The coroner nodded and moved the body so that they could see it better. Then he held up a pair of tweezers. He plunged the tweezers into Watabe's open abdomen. From where Shinjo and Kunisato were standing, they couldn't see inside. The tweezers seemed to grab something. Look at this. That was all he said as he lifted up the tweezers. Between them was a sumo sticker in excellent condition. This was found in the stomach. It shouldn't look like
ひど
that.
すぎるな
It wasn't twisted or broken. The sticker was almost entirely intact. That's not all. This is insane. We're definitely getting to the weird stuff. Suddenly, Kunisato opened the door leading into the autopsy room. Hey, you can't just... You couldn't go in there without changing your clothes or disinfecting yourselves. He tried to tell her that, but gave up. It was more important to find out what the coroner had seen. So he followed her in, even though he wasn't supposed to. He knew he wasn't supposed to. The coroner said nothing. He just stood silently holding his tweezers. Even Kunasato was shocked by what she saw in the body. So was Shinjo. This is... He covered his mouth with a handkerchief. It was just too bizarre. Watabe's stomach was so swollen it seemed about to burst. And inside the stomach he could see not just dozens, but hundreds of sumo stickers. We haven't confirmed yet, but the esophagus shows similar signs of swelling. It's likely that it's filled with stickers as well. Gross. What's the most likely cause of death? Probably suffocation. So this is what you're telling me, right? Watabe swallowed sticker after sticker after sticker until he choked to death. No one, not Shinjo or the coroner, said a word. Before going... That's a good question. Maybe it will affect things? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure. By the time Kazuki and I got back from the police, the school looked completely different. The bustling school building was now almost completely empty. All the police tape was gone except from the gym where the death had occurred. They must have finished their examination of the area. From the look of things, if I went back to the club room, I probably wouldn't find anyone. But for now... Oh, Taku, Hana, welcome back. Hey, you're back faster than I expected. Serika and Ito were there. Where's Arimura? She went straight home after we left the station. Were you guys waiting for us? Why would I want to wait for a guy? I've been waiting for Kazuki. I'm Groot. Ooh. Kazuki gave Ito a little bow. Hana, don't let him trick you. Shin's just being slow about cleaning up. Hey, don't tell her that. Well, that's what I'd figured, but I felt a lot better. I could still see that awful corpse when I closed my eyes. Since I hadn't eaten anything since this morning, there was nothing to go up my throat but stomach acid. Because of that, my esophagus was starting to hurt. Just being able to talk to everyone like this made me feel a lot better. Oh, but if you're cleaning up, does that mean they canceled the festival? Yep, there was an announcement after you left. I see. I was thinking they might just postpone it. Well, it makes sense. There was a murder after all. And since it might have to do with all the other strange deaths, the school probably didn't have much of a choice. So, how'd things go for you? They didn't treat you like the killers, did they? Did it go okay? Why would they suspect me? I'm an important witness. That's the reason, though. In a mystery, the witnesses are always suspects. You watch too many detective shows. But still, just like Shinjo said earlier, it would make sense if they suspected me, I think. This was the second time after the revolving dead incident that someone had died near me. Anyway, something really did happen today. That means our guess was right, doesn't it? Yeah. I leaned my tired body back into a chair and looked at the map on the wall. Now there was even more evidence. We could be certain at this point that what happened this morning was in some way related to the new generation madness. But we didn't know who had done it or why. The sumo stickers that had made me sick every time I saw them were the only clue we had. And this time they were used as a murder weapon in Watabe's death. Huh? What did you say? To be honest, I didn't really want to remember that. There was no way to know this unless you'd experience it for yourself, but seeing something in a video and seeing it in person were two radically different things. The biggest difference was the smell. Even if there was no blood, like this morning, there was still a unique stench in the air. Part of it was the smell of vomit and the excrement that slid out of the body after the muscles had relaxed, but it was more than that. There was a unique stench of the bodies of the dead possessed. The smell of death, you might call it. Whenever I saw the body in my mind, I also remembered that scent.
警察の話だと
We're going to see that picture a lot, aren't we?
窒息死だよな。口の中に例のシールがいっぱいだったんだろ。
The police said he suffocated, right? His mouth was full of sumo stickers. Did they jam the stickers in his mouth until he choked?
犯人は何
Why did the killer do that? And wait, do you think it's the same guy who committed the other murders
そもそ
too?
も
What do you mean?
だって
Because, you know, Ito stopped and shrugged. I knew what he was trying to say. If we assumed that all these incidents were related, compared to Don't Look at Me, Leaky Noise, and Revolving Dead, this murder seemed very different. The killer jammed sumo stickers in the victim's mouth until he choked. It was cruel, sure, but it also felt sloppy, brutal, and crude. But
僕だって最初はそ
I
う
thought
考
so
えたよ
too until I heard what the
警
police were
察から話
saying.
を聞くまで
But
はね
when I was leaving the station, I heard the cops talking about the results of the autopsy. They said Watabe's stomach was filled to bursting with sumo stickers. Oh yeah, it's a wonderful image, isn't it, Alpha Oblivion? So this case was every bit as weird as the other three. I tried to get out of the chair, but I was still a little tired, so I staggered a bit.
全ての事件の特徴を
It seems to me
中
that
央的に見てみれば
if you look at it seems to me that if you look at all the incidents in order, it's clearly part of the same set. You mean there's something this has in common with the incidents before?
それを聞いてほしい
That's what I want to talk about. I'll go over everything in order. That's right. What I was about to explain included a critical factor that we never even considered before. It was what I'd talked to Serica about before I left for the police station.
さっきの話
Can you tell me more about what you were saying before? Before?
言ってたろ
You said that Shinjo and Kunasato were talking about psychics and some kind of mystery.
能力
Oh, what was that again? I think the first one is still the most gruesome. Cutting your own arm off, eating it, and cutting into slices? Yeah. That's definitely the most gruesome. And remember, they said all the incidents so far are really weird. Of course they're weird. That's why we're doing this. Oh, no, that's not what they meant. The people who died. Do you know the name of the first victim's stream? The one that... do you know the name of the first victim's stream? The one in the Don't Look at Me case?
俺し未来が見えてしまう
Till I can see the future, right? They were saying maybe he really could see the future.
は
Huh? That's crazy. Was it some kind of joke? And then the next one was Leaky Noise, and they said the people who came to her concerts were kind of weird.
変って
Weird? How? They were acting like they had some kind of fever or something. The songs themselves were nothing special, but it was like they were obsessed with her voice.
なんだよそれ
What? I don't really get what you're saying. I don't know, that's just what they were talking about.
まあいい
Whatever. What about Revolving Dead? Supposedly he was just a part-timer, but he was really successful.
それは単に
That's not just because he was good at his job. Yeah, but it was more like he knew exactly what people wanted. Some people started a rumor that he was actually bugging people's offices. Oh, so killing psychics. That's everything I heard.
いや冗談
No, great job. Thanks for catching all that.
気取って
Was that useful? Yep. But yeah, I'd say most gruesome was the first. Second most gruesome was probably the Revolving Dead. Then the stomach one, and then the sticker one. Actually, no. The sticker one, then the stomach one. Shinjo and Kunasato were talking very softly, so I hadn't been able to hear it at all. It was definitely thanks to Serica that we had this information. But still,
能力
psychic powers. No way.
おーい
Hey, Miyashiro, you ready yet?
まだなのか
Oh, sorry, I'll be right there.
きません
Do we really need to see them leaving? After what I'd heard from talking to Serica, It was unbelievable, but if I looked at all the cases so far in the light of that, I'm going to go over the case once more to make sure of all this. Take a look. I turned to face the board on the wall. When I did so, I could feel strength coming back to my tired body and mind. Good, I was fine. What happened this morning hadn't made me afraid. Everyone looked at the map of Shibuya, even Kazuki. What, you're not going to play ESO too? For some reason, Kazuki always participated when we used this. Well, whatever. I should start with the first case. The keys were what I heard from Serica before going to the police station, and what I knew about the victims. Together, they implied that... I see. So that's it. No, wait, that can't be right. But that would explain everything. Actually, there were a lot of things that could only be explained that way. My mind raced, and soon I felt a curiosity welling up within me that overrode the terror and disgust I'd felt when I was at the scene of the murders. Derek is mind blown. Oh, we had just a few drop frames. Thankfully nothing too major, and it's done now. So that's good. Yeah, it has to be it. It's unbelievable, but it's possible. It was a stupid idea, maybe. But if it were true, it would be incredible. It would change everything we thought we knew about the world. Yeah, it was so minor you probably didn't notice at all. What is it? It's creepy when we just laugh like that out of nowhere. Nothing. I'm just glad to see you back to normal. Oh. Now that I thought about it, I'd gotten so excited that I'd forgotten the nightmare that was going on around me. I should get back on topic. I realized something. This may not have any direct connection to the killer, but I discovered something that cases have in common that's important, maybe world-changing. I could see Kazuki gasp in surprise. Seriously? Wow! Everyone was looking at me as I explained everything in turn. First, Watabe's murder was part of what people are calling the return of the new generation madness. I said this before, but didn't he just suffocate to death? No, that's not correct. Watabe suffocated, yes, but not just from having the sumo sticker stuffed in his mouth. What do you mean? I stopped for a moment and took a deep breath. I knew that when I imagined it, I was going to shiver. His entire stomach was full of sumo stickers when he died. Everyone's eyes went wide. I could tell that they were trying to figure out the meaning of what I just said. Inside his stomach too? Is that? That's right. He swallowed, or was forced to swallow, a huge amount of sumo stickers. Since they were found undamaged in his stomach, we know he didn't chew them either. That's how he suffocated and died. That's what happened. That's not sloppy. That's insane. I wonder if we're getting some... It just makes me think of the gluttony death in 7. Which means this incident is just like the others then, huh? Hey, Oscar. Glad you enjoyed the Mario movie. I nodded, then wrote down a brief outline of Watabe's death and pinned it to the map. But wait, Miyashiro, is that important enough to overturn everything we know about the world? No, that was just confirming that his death was the same as the other murders. I'm just about to get to the main point. I stopped talking for a second and looked around at everyone's faces. First, the victim in the Don't Look at Me case, Yuma Otani. He said he could see the future. That's just a silly gimmick. Just let me finish. Ito shrugged and stopped talking. As for Momone Takanagi, the girl in the leaky noise case, her fans all claimed her voice had a strange power to it. They said that just listening to it could put you in a trance. Yep, that's what the detective was saying. That's no different than people dancing in a club though, right? There's nothing unusual about songs and music putting people in a trance. But you need pretty specific conditions to create that effect though, right? Like that's basically the whole point of a club. But Momone Takiyanagi did all her concerts on the street, with no equipment at all. Well, whatever, keep talking. Oh, good night, Gregster. Take care. Oblivion, a better translation of leaky noise would have been audio leak. Yeah, that would have been... That's a good point. And then there's the victim of the revolving dead case, Hironori Kakita. Supposedly, he was capable of reading his clients' minds. Huh? Wait, you're not saying... Ito seemed to realize what I was trying to say. That's my partner for you. He's got good intuition. Oh, that's what was used in the fan patch. Oh, okay. I saw it too, Oscar. It was definitely really good. I said the expression was different on the sumo stickers, on the sumo sticker in Watabe's photo, right? I'd already told everyone that the expression on the sumo sticker I'd photographed at the Love Hotel and the one in Watabe's article were different. At first, I thought it was photo editing or something. There were rumors that Watabe was doing that, in fact. But evidently, that's not it. I asked the detective and he told me that there were no signs that Watabe's photo was digitally altered. Which means there was a chance that many of Watabe's too good to be true photographs weren't taken with a camera. He probably used some form of psychic photography. What the hell? I wrote everything that occurred to me down in a memo and pinned it to the map. Ito laughed as I put it up. No, wait. Come on, you can't be serious. Huh? Shin, did you figure it out from that? Kazuki seemed irritated that Ito had figured out the answer before her. She started to bang on the wall like she always did. Hey, come on, stop that. Man, what has gotten into her? So basically, this is what you're trying to say, right? What all these victims have in common is that they all did things that would seem impossible. And that means they... Yes, and that means they... We're aliens from outer space, of course! It was super obvious. Had special powers. That's right. They all had some kind of special power, right? Ito took the words right out of my mouth. Special... Wait, do you mean... It should have been aliens. Fairy godparents. Onoe heard Shinjo use the word psychics. They had psychic powers. Psychic powers? Psychic powers. If this was a mystery novel, the readers would be so pissed off right now. Unfortunately, this isn't a book. It's real. No, it's a visual novel. So that's all the more reason, right? All the more reason, right, everyone? Ito looked around at the others, expecting their agreement. But while Kazuki had looked surprised for a moment, she quickly returned to her usual inscrutable expression, and Serika was excited about something completely different. Psychic powers? So, like, what? You can turn invisible and sneak inside the girls' locker room? No. Where did that come from? Well, that might be one, but normally it means more like telepathy or something. Oh, telepathy. That's great. You wouldn't need a cell phone. You can make calls for free. What the hell? Forget it. I should just give up on trying to talk to her about anything complicated. But once you start talking about psychic powers, where do you stop? Like, you could say that someone used psychic powers to kill them from a distance. No, I don't think they're that powerful. Like, maybe you only get one... Oh, maybe you only get one power or something. And don't forget, it's not the killer who has the powers, it's the victims. But if the victims have them, we can assume the killer might have them as well, right? Well, yeah. That was certainly possible. Or, no, it might actually be likely. Oh, come to think of it. Serika cut the two of us off. Her voice was easygoing and unconcerned. Didn't you say something about an urban legend like that on @channel or something? Something about how if you lived in Shibuya, you could get strange powers? Oh, that's right. How could I have forgotten something so important? Yeah, I've heard that too, but that's supposedly because the spirits of the people who died in the earthquake make a home inside your body. That seems like a bridge too far to me. Oh, later, Oscar. Take care. Thanks for checking in. Oh, BG Kenobi, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. What if the thing about the spirits came later and only the powers themselves were real? Still, I don't know. They say where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Setting fires where they weren't any before is exactly what Achan does, right? That's true, but Onoe heard them saying something about psychics, didn't she? That's right, yes, the policeman was talking about it. But that doesn't mean... Ito still didn't seem willing to accept it. Well, I could understand that. Even I thought this was a little crazy. But for some reason, it felt to me like this was the explanation closest to the truth. I understand what you're trying to say, but can we at least consider it as a hypothesis? Well, maybe. He fell silent. Normally, Kazuki would have gotten bored with all this talking and gone back to her computer, but today she wasn't moving. She wasn't participating in our conversation, but for once, she seemed interested. I mean, she did just see the guy die, so that makes sense. Well, even if your theory is right, what does that have to do with the other thing they have in common? The other thing they have in common? The sumo stickers. Oh, right. The sumo stickers were involved in this case, too. No, this time they were actually the murder weapon, you could say. Why does every crime have a sticker there anyway? Normally you'd leave it on the body of the person you killed. I think they call it like a diving message? Dying, yes. But this time the stickers themselves were the murder weapons, so that doesn't count. Which means that the killer put them there. Maybe it was to say that they were the ones who did it, or maybe to send a message to someone, huh? Which means that card would have some kind of meaning that all the victims understood. But the only thing they have in common is that we know about now is that they had special powers. Oh, my phone's ringing. Serika took her phone out of her pocket and looked at the screen, then frowned and looked at me. It's from Non. Yeah, I'm sure she's not happy about this. So, we just introduced 3 ramen restaurants in Kichijoji that are so popular the lines are stretching out the door. Well, did you see the one that caught your eye? See one that caught your eye? The second one, where you dip the noodles in sauce, caught my eye. Using a miso-style broth instead of seafood for the base strikes me as very innovative. That's right, they've adjusted the miso so it works as a dipping sauce, and it's not as heavy as you'd think. They just put something on screen, didn't they? Breaking news. This afternoon, freelance journalist Tomoaki Watabe, age 22. There was a large sign at the top of the screen which read, "Freelance journalist Tomoaki Watabe dies violently during speech." The Shibuya police are still deciding if it's a murder or a suicide and are performing a detailed investigation into Watabe's health and the cause of his death. Watabe was in the news recently for writing an article. It connects the string of suicides that have been plaguing Shibuya lately with the large amount of so-called sumo stickers that have been found in the area. What the hell? You hear? Watabe's dead. What, you mean the Watabe? Wow, that's a shock. Yeah? Some of these look like Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key characters. Watabe, I'm going to cry. You knew him? No, but I thought he was great. Just a fan, huh? LOL. He seemed really smart. You know, when you look at him, he isn't all that hot. So it was his face in the end? Why did he die anyway? I don't know, but that's what they were saying on Rhine. Wasn't he on TV yesterday? He was writing an article about how the sumo stickers in Shibuya are bad news. What, he was the one putting them up? He didn't put them up. That the sumo stickers had something to do with the case. The new generation madness, you know? That red finger really wants us to look at this kid. Those eyes are God's eyes? Huh? Those eyes are God's eyes? Huh. Well, we did have that mention of the God's eyes thing at the beginning. Excuse me. First post, rest in peace, skipping ASCII art. The Schadenfreude gives me a boner. What the hell? Rest in peace, LOL. Sheesh. That's what you get. Why do you guys hate some loser plagiarist? Boy, his reputation is gone. That proves it. The next one will be on October 23rd. The sumo stickers are God. The sumo stickers are God. Huh. Is it the same? Yeah. Sheesh. Weird. Wow, straight into positive or negative delusions. I silently looked up at the building. The lights were on in the room at the end of the living room on the 3rd floor, which meant she was awake. I'd known she would be, but still, I couldn't help but sigh. That was the end of my last hope. After Sarika had to answer the phone, she handed it to me without saying a word. We're going to be skipping him anyway, Alpha, just because just keep the story on move on, since I'm not going to be going for like the other endings. Just like I'd expected, her voice was calm. Both me, Sarika, and Ito knew from experience that meant she was angry. She told me to come home immediately in a flat, emotionless voice. I couldn't even make any excuses. I'd been hoping she'd be asleep when I got back, but now I realized that there was never any chance of that. I mean, really wasn't his choice. No, I didn't know for certain that she wanted to talk about what happened today. It might be something else. No way. That was impossible. I was 90% sure of it. I gave up and headed to Kurasu's room. When I went inside, she was sitting on the bed waiting for me. You need to lie down or we'll open up your wound again, right? I heard you had to go down to the police station again. Kurasu cut me off. Her voice was calm and level. Normally this would have been a relief, but in Kurasu's case, it just made me feel more scared. That's correct, isn't it? Who told you about that? It doesn't matter, does it? Anyway, is it true? Well, Kawahara must have told her. Damn it, why did you have to tell Kurasu of all people? I knew I was in for another lecture. No, I'd be lucky if it was just a lecture. If it was anything worse, I didn't want to think about it. If her voice was this calm, it was a warning sign. I needed to proceed cautiously. Why are you being so quiet? Could you not hear me? She suddenly changed. You're kidding me. Normally I'd at least get a little more time. Should I ask again? Is what I just said. I can hear you. It's fine. I see. Then why didn't you say anything? I'm sorry. Well, it doesn't matter. So,
はい。さっきの話は
Lash, you have a sundress the same color and pattern as her bed? That's funny. Yes, what you said is true.
あでも
Oh, but it's not my fault. There was a murder and there was nothing I could do about it.
しょうがないって
ほら
You know what happened with Watabe, right?
渡部との対談の件
I tried to stop my voice from shaking as I told her everything that had happened that day.
そういうわけで
So you see, the reason we had to go to the police station was that we were with key witnesses. There was no other reason, really.
他には
Kurisu was watching me with extremely cold eyes the entire time I talked. I somehow managed to look back at her as I shared something that something that wasn't an excuse that I've been feeling lately.
でもさ
You know,
最近
things do feel a little
少し
strange
おかしい
lately.
と思ってるんだ
おかしい
Strange? What does?
最初はさ
Hey Rob,
もち
how's
ろん
it
僕
going?
たちから興味を持って事件のことを調べて
At first, we were following the case because we were interested in it.
けど
But now, lately, it feels like the case is coming after
事
us.
件自体が逆に僕
The
を
case is coming after us. When I said that, I realized how right it felt. That was the only way I could think of to describe what had happened today. It was Watabe who asked for an interview with us, and Watabe had died in front of us before we'd even talked to him. We hadn't had a choice in any of it.
昨日
Yesterday, Kurisu opened her mouth
昨
quietly.
日
You told me yesterday, didn't you? Huh?
昨日
That you'd think about it, right?
って
それは
That's... I had said that, yes.
僕だってそのつも
I
り
mean
だった
it, but a lot of stuff happened today, and there's something new that I learned.
今日またいろいろ
分かったこと
Something new?
そうなんだ
That's right. I realized when I was talking to everyone in the club room that all the victims had something in common.
その共通点とは
You
何か
see, they all... And then I stopped. I wasn't sure if Kurisu would understand what I was trying to say, but I couldn't think of anything else to do, so I just told her exactly what had happened.
実は一連の事件
All
の
the
被害者
victims had something special
みんな
happen to
特殊な
them.
現象未来予知とか
They could
人
see
の
the
心を読
future
んだり
or
とか
read minds or use
現象とか
psychic photography.
つまり
I guess you could call them psychic powers.
超能力
Psychic powers? Kurisu froze. She probably hadn't been expecting that.
そうなんだ
That's right. There's a chance they all had some kind of power.
この予想が本当なら
If I'm right, this is about more than the case. It may change everything we know about the world. Isn't that
これっ
amazing?
てすごいことじゃ
And then I realized that she was acting strange. Her gentle smile had vanished, and she was sitting there expressionlessly. I realized that I'd made a mistake, but it was too late. She was just about to blow. When she got like that, it was meant she was building up her anger for an explosion. The only thing I could do now was wait for the thunder to come crashing down on me. Here it comes. I closed my eyes. But I waited and waited, and nothing happened. I opened my eyes and saw... Please.
お願い
Kurisu looking weaker than I'd ever seen her before.
タクル
Takaru, please, stop this. Don't do anything else.
これ以上はやめて
Another prediction to pop out there. She's a psychic somehow. Nono is also a psychic.
来るす
Kurisu?
怖いの
I'm scared. I'm... Huh?
これ以上
When I think about what could happen if you keep getting involved in this and then something does happen,
何か
I just don't know what to do. I'm so scared.
あなたにだってわかるでしょ
You know what it feels like too, don't you? To lose something you care about? I don't want to lose my family again. I don't want to lose the people I care about.
だから
So please, Takaru, just give up on the case. Please. Kurisu seemed so weak, like she was about to cry. I was shocked. I never thought she'd let me see her like this. So that's it. I still didn't understand how much I'd been making Kurisu worry. Her hands gripped me harder, as if she was trying to stop me, as if she was clinging to me. A gasp of pain slipped from her mouth. Maybe her wound had opened again, but she kept clinging on to me tightly. She held me and wouldn't let me go. I was a fool. I was such a fool. I'd gotten cocky just because I'd learned something new, and forgotten how much that would hurt the people close to me.
ごめん。
I'm sorry. Just a guy thinks the murderer is a real psychic killing fake psychics.
ごめん。
Interesting. It's possible.
ごめん。
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't realize I'd worried you so much. Takaru, then...
でも、
But I removed Kurisu's hands as gently as I could. What?
一つだけ。
There's one thing I need to do. Just let me do this one thing.
それは
Is it that important?
大事なこと
Yeah.
私たち家族
More
が
important than your family.
大事なこと
同じくらい大事な。
Probably just as important.
同じくらい
Just as important? What is it?
一体何
スマホ。
I need to get my
取
phone
り返さ
back.
なきゃ。
My phone was... Man, that phone ended up being much more than we would have thought. That makes sense. It makes complete sense. He chases it, but he also needs to get it. He needs to get it in order to get out because he was already called once. So, good stuff. Good stuff. My phone was stolen that night. Now it was in the hands of a mysterious girl who was either connected to the killer or maybe the killer herself. I didn't know. But given what I'd seen so far, there was no way she wasn't connected somehow. So I had to get it back, no matter what.
そんなの
That's not...
ダメなんだ。
I have to. It's got the newspaper club's data on it, and information about this place too. If someone sees it...
データって
Data? You mean our contact info and the results of our research? Nothing else, right? And you said it was locked. Yeah, but it's still possible that something could happen. If there really were psychic powers, someone might have a way to get the data off of it. And then something terrible might happen. Huh? What the hell? Suddenly the lights went off and the room was plunged into darkness. The darkness was so sudden that my eyes didn't have time to adjust. I could barely see anything.
クルス。
Kurisu? What's wrong? But even though she was right in front of me a second ago, she didn't answer. There was only the silent darkness. Kurisu? Answer me. Where did you go?
クルスノノならいない
Nono Kurisu isn't here. I killed her already. The hell? Suddenly, a voice came from the darkness. Hey, Jason Rocks, we're getting into some wild stuff. I turned towards it and I saw a small shadow standing there.
宮代拓
Takaru Miyashiro, right? Who are you?
愚かなやつ
A
だ
stupid question.
余計なことに首
If you hadn't gotten involved, you wouldn't have had to die.
なかったろうに
Oh boy. Her hands were filled with knives. The silver blades shone with a bloody crimson light. No, it wasn't just a light that looked like blood. There was a liquid dropping down from it that looked just like... No, that's not it. That's blood. Real blood.
そうだ
That's right. It's blood. I told you. I killed Nono Kurisu. The girl with the knives pointed to a corner in the darkness and grinned. I saw the silhouette of something that looked like a head. It was rolling on the ground. There's no way this is real! Kurisu! Kurisu! It's too late for regrets, Takaru Miyashiro. This is all your fault.
全てお前が招いたこと
She smiled and started to walk towards me. Run. Yui! Yudo! Dad! I screamed out into the hallway, but there was no answer. I heard nobody call back to me.
無駄だよ
Oh, it's useless. Your little sister, your brother, your dad. I killed them all.
殺しておいたからな
This has to be some sort of delusion. Huh? Huh?
あとはお前だ
You're all that's left.
さっさと
Now die. It's a dream. Takaru? What's wrong? Takaru? Huh? I suddenly found myself back in Kurisu's room. She was reaching a hand out toward me, concerned. She'd been stabbed because of me, but she wasn't dead. She was alive. It was just a delusion. I wiped the sweat off my forehead and told Kurisu over and over again that I was just fine. But that delusion was, if I wasn't careful, it might become real. Yeah, a negative delusion out of nowhere. The data on that smartphone was too dangerous. Of course, that wasn't the only reason I wanted it back, because it had the picture. The picture we'd taken together. I hadn't told Kurisu, and I never would, but that was my one precious memory. The only one I had. That's why I hadn't even made a backup. If I did, it felt like it wouldn't be as special anymore. It was a picture of my family, back when I still considered them my family, back when things were fun. It was the one thing I owned that I really cared about. Anyway, I need to get it back, no matter what. I gripped Kurisu's hand softly for a second and headed for the door. She tried to get up from the bed and buckled over from the pain. I wanted to run back and help her. I wanted to run over, get her back into bed, call Dad. That's what I wanted to do. But if I went back now, she probably wouldn't let me go. So I left the room and closed the door without looking back. I could hear her voice on the other side of the door. It stung a little. Brother Takaru, I just heard Big Sis Nono's voice. Her wound may have opened up again. Call Dad right away. Huh? Okay, Brother Takaru, where are you going? I have something I have to do. What? You can't just leave. Stay with Big Sis Nono. Hey, wait, Brother Takaru. I ignored Yui's angry yells and ran out the door to get back what was important to me. I had to go back there to Tokyo General Hospital. And this is still October 10th. Holy crap. Kurisu stared silently at the closed door. Her heart was filled with regret. She should have tried harder to stop him. She should have ignored the wound in her stomach and clung to him harder. Fortunately, the wound didn't seem to have opened. In that instant, her father Sakuma's words had come back to her. If you push yourself too hard and that wound opens again, it might leave a scar. His words had stopped her, and Takaru Miyashiro had left. In the end, maybe she only cared about herself. It was true that she didn't want to lose her family. But no. Don't go near that hospital. She knows he's going to the hospital? She picked up the smartphone that had fallen to the floor when she stumbled out of bed. Did he tell her that, or did she just know? She opened the screen with trembling hands. On the screen was... The hell? I forget who Senri was. Sheesh. Things got intense. Sorry I'm late. Ito saw us from across the street and ran over. Sorry. No, just your voice. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought not, Psycho Shadow. Thanks for being here, by the way. Ito quickly lowered his voice. I'm sorry for dragging you out here at this hour. No, we're friends, right? And if I'd let you go alone and something happened, the Empress would kill me. When I heard the word Empress, I remembered how desperately Kurisu had tried to stop me. I shook my head a little to drive the image out of my mind. After I'd left yesterday, I'd gone straight to Tokyo General Hospital. This time I wouldn't be able to just blunder in like I had when I snuck into the psych ward. I spent the whole night looking at the locations of the ER entrance and emergency exits, as well as the security system. Then I'd spent today pretending to be visiting a patient while I scouted in the inside, and in the evening headed to Serica's house. I wanted to do it alone, but I realized that it would be too dangerous. So, considering he just did all that, this should be October 11th, not October 10th, I think. I needed a partner who could contact Shinjo immediately if something happened, and the only two people I could ask were Serica and Ito. I hope we can get it back. I don't know if they've got anything to do with the killer, but we can't let them keep it. Yeah, we got that weird message too. Don't make me remember, it still scares me. I'd cancel my phone contract immediately, but somehow it had called Ito. That had scared the hell out of me. And unlike older cell phones, a smartphone was filled with personal information. There was no way I could let them keep it. And it's got something important on it too. What does? It's not good to lie, I think. And you should try to make Non happy since she's hurt. Well, that's just like you though. Sorry. Okay, let's go. According to the data you gathered, it's about time for the guards to change shifts. Yeah. We nodded at each other and jogged along the wall surrounding the AH Tokyo General Hospital. Oh boy, sneaking mission. So far, so good. Actually, this is better than I expected. Ito was right. Getting into the hospital had proved easier than planned. A big part of it was that I'd memorized the way in, but the biggest advantage was that we had the rear staff entrance. The rear staff entrance was unlocked for some reason. If that had been locked, we would have had to go through the ER entrance. That would mean we'd probably be caught by the staff. But just as I was starting to worry, Serica turned the doorknob and told me that it was unlocked. The door was unlocked again, just like before, huh? Alright, is Serica a psychic? Or can, psychically open doors or something like that? I suddenly remembered what had happened when I first snuck into the psych ward, and almost stopped for a second to think. But then I drove the idea from my mind. I needed to focus on getting the phone right now. It was nighttime at the hospital, and this wasn't a ward where patients were kept. The lobby was pitch dark. Sometimes I could hear a strange, unpleasant sound like two pieces of metal touching. We dropped down low and tried to move quietly. Someone could spot us at any moment. It was the middle of autumn, and I could still feel cold sweat running down my back. The question is where the phone actually is, right? Yeah. That girl was definitely the one who picked it up, which meant that finding her was the fastest way, but I had no idea of knowing where she was. Rusty McTen, you're a psychic, everyone are psychics. I mean, kind of feels like that at this point, doesn't it? But that doesn't mean we can search the whole hospital from top to bottom. Where were we when we ran into her last time? I retraced our steps on that day. That's not an old man, that's an old woman apparently, I think. I'm pretty sure it's an old woman. First we'd hit it in the bathroom, and then we went to the psych ward. That's where we'd seen the sumo stickers drawn on the walls in blood. Does that mean we need to head there first? No, I don't think we need to go that far. And I didn't want to go back there. When we escaped from the hospital ward, we used the emergency stairs. We went all the way to the bottom, which is where I dropped my phone and she picked it up. Which means we need to go to the emergency stairs. Which ones? Well, I was in such a hurry to get out of there that I don't really remember. I hadn't been able to remember when I'd been scouting the place out this afternoon either. I think it's that one maybe. Serica started to move forward, looking around as she walked. Do you remember? No, it's just a hunch, but... Serica walked forward, hesitantly. We followed. Here? Maybe not? No, it might have been. There was a steel door to the emergency stairs in front of us. I turned the knob and softly pushed it. It was a little heavy, but it opened without catching on anything. This one wasn't locked either, evidently. The emergency stairs stretched up and down, illuminated by the cold fluorescent lights. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that happening. As I stared at them, I realized that I remembered coming down these stairs. Well, yeah, this is probably the place. You're amazing, Onaway. Now I got a compliment. Serika grinned. Okay, let's go. Yeah. We carefully walked down the dimly lit staircase. I started to get more and more nervous. Even if I'd done my homework before I'd come here, wasn't this even easier than last time? Maybe we were being led into a trap. Maybe something terrible is waiting up ahead to swallow us. I tried to shake my head and drive the thoughts out of my mind. I wonder if she's out walking somewhere again tonight. I'm not sure. What was she doing with an old woman in a dark hallway at this hour anyway? Where did she come from, and where did she go? Cotton Eye Joe. That's just the first thing that came to my mind. Also, if I did run into her again, what should I do? Ideally, I'd get my phone back without causing too much of a fuss, but I couldn't imagine things would be that easy. For now, I thought of an escape route, but it still might be dangerous. Hey, Taku, look at that. We'd reached the end of the staircase. There was a cold steel door in front of us. There were no further stairs to go down. Everybody had the exact same thought. I mean, how could you not? Past this door should be the hallway where I dropped my phone. I've come this far already. I told myself that there was no time for second thoughts and nodded at Serika and Ito. Then I put my hand on the cold doorknob. Well, Espeon is a good one. Although I do prefer Umbreon. Fortunately, it wasn't locked either. I looked down the hallway as I listened to the loud creaking of the hinges. There's no one here, huh? Yeah. Serika and Ito both looked a little relieved. There was no one in the hallway at all. We slipped past the open doorway and proceeded down the hallway, being careful not to make any noise. Maybe it was just my imagination, but the air seemed more stale here than it did upstairs. Identical doors stretched out on either side, and there was no way to know which was in each room. The letters on the plates were too small to read in the dim light unless you squinted. I got close to one to try and read it when... Hey, someone's coming! Serika and I jumped at Ito's words. I listened carefully, and sure enough, from behind I heard... very slow footsteps, and not just one pair. They were slow, as if only taking one step at a time. I knew those footsteps. Those footsteps were... It's them! We need to hide somewhere. But where? The door to the emergency exit was the same way the footsteps were coming from. There was no time to get back there now. Feet are your greatest fear, Alpha Oblivion? Fair. This door's open. I swear, Sarah can just open doors. I slid inside the door directly next to us. Just before I did, though, I saw the horrible words written on the plate next to the door. What is this place? A locker room? Oh my god, they went into the... Oh. The walls were covered in steel cabinets. They were just big enough for someone to lie down in. This place was... Oh, I know. Maybe we can hide inside these. God, no! Serika put her hands on one of the cabinet doors. Hey, wait! The words on the plate had read... Autopsy room. Which meant that what was inside was... No! Oh no, wait, that's... Huh? I closed my eyes, imagining what I was about to see inside. What's wrong, Taku? Huh? I opened my eyes when she spoke and saw that there was nothing inside. This is a strange locker, huh? Oh wait, this isn't a locker, it's... I whispered to her and she went pale. Ito must have figured it out too because so did he. No way am I hiding in here. Let's find someplace else. Yeah. The footsteps were still approaching from down the hallway, and for some reason, it felt like they were coming toward this room. You're kidding me! Why would they be coming to the autopsy room? This wasn't a place that anyone would ordinarily choose to visit. Ito was panicking too. Yashiro, what do we do? They're coming this way. I listened carefully again. There was no doubt. The footsteps were definitely coming this way. But I didn't see any place in the room we could hide. Except one. Oh God. Damn it. Come on, we have to hide in here. Sarika was shaking a little, but she put her hand on one of the cabinet doors. You idiot, not there. We can hide somewhere else. Where else? I looked around and didn't see any other place in the room where three of us could hide. We need to hurry before they get here. I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. If the lamp on the cabinet was green, did that mean it was empty? Or did it mean the opposite? I felt all the hairs on my neck stand on end, but still I managed to pull open a door. Thankfully, there was nothing inside. Sarika was normally a ditz, but at times like this, she was really courageous. Her whole body was shaking, but she managed to jump in first. Taku, there's room for one more in here. Huh? I'm scared to be on my own, please. She grabbed my hand from inside. She was right, since Sarika was so small, there was room for another person in here. Ito, sorry, but 3 people can't fit in here. You take the next one. What? I can't let Onoe be by herself. I don't want to be alone in a place like this either. And then the footsteps outside stopped. Just as I expected. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, Jacob, is because, like, aren't they like fridges? You can't open them from the inside? Not really safe to hide in? I felt a terror like someone was pointing a cold knife at my back. Wait a moment, please. I'll open the door. I heard a voice outside. There's no time. Just get in, Ito. Huh? No, wait, don't! I ignored Ito and yanked the door next to mine. Then I pushed him in head first. Onto the dead body. Just hurry. Ito held his hands over his mouth to desperately stifle a scream. As soon as he was all the way inside, I shut the door. It would be really bad if it was closed all the way, so I left him a little gap. Okay, they were smart enough for that, at least. And then I crouched inside and slid next to Sarika. Okay, I'm shutting it. Okay. I brought the door close, leaving just enough of a gap that it couldn't be seen from the outside. The inside of the cabinet was hard and cold. It made sense since no one in here would ever complain. Oh, of course. Also, this artwork makes me laugh because they literally just took her model and rotated her. Just do a 90-degree turn and good. Since I was pushed up against Sarika, the parts of my body that were touching hers felt strangely warm. But we didn't have time to enjoy each other's warmth. I looked outside, holding my breath to make as little noise as possible. Just a moment later, they came inside. There were 5 or 6 of them. I was sure it'd be all old people, but some of them were middle-aged or young men. If it was just old people, I was planning on stealing it by force if I had to, but that was impossible now. But what were they doing in a place like this? And then I started to wonder again. A sudden, horrible fantasy made my whole body shiver. Were they already dead, and this is where they slept? That was impossible. This wasn't a horror movie or something, right? I tried to tell myself I was being silly, but I could tell I was shaking. Serica was probably no different. She was clinging to me like a little child. I'm scared. I'm scared. Now just making sure her shoulders are at a certain point so they could just like coming up from this corner. I've used it with my own editing for certain objects. And then I remembered. This was a lot like what happened before, when the two of us had seen that terrifying sight as children. I don't. That girl has the same color hair as Serica, I gotta say. Good night, Cat Evie. Take care. At some point, I'd start holding her back. I'd started holding her back. It's okay. I'm here. It'll be just fine. I squinted into the darkness. I could see several shadows moving about. The strange men and... one of them was clearly different than the others. That small girl. It's her. She slowly walked across the room, straight toward where we were hiding. Did she find us? My heart started to pound faster, but it seemed like that wasn't the case. The men followed her across my field of vision and stopped in a corner in front of an empty wall. What are they doing? She opened what looked like a small breaker box on the wall. You know, those things with a high yellow warning signs and black or red text that reads danger, high voltage. And then she took something out of her pocket and slid it inside the box. There was a loud noise on the other side of the wall. Huh? The girl shut the door to the breaker box, then put her hand on the wall and slid it to the side. Ooh, secret passage. The wall opened easily, as if it was weightless. It must have been some kind of sliding door. She led the men inside and vanished. The wall closed, and the dissection room was quiet again. A secret door. That was scary, huh? Yeah, we're okay now. I waited for a while to make sure she wasn't coming back, then finally opened the cabinet door. Serica and I crawled out. Whew. I took a deep breath of air into my lungs. This place is like some kind of secret base. Yeah. Why would they build a huge mechanism like this? What was going on at that hospital? And what was on the other side of that wall? Yeah, it's Umbrella. That makes sense. Hey, Ito, it's safe to come out. I knocked softly on the door of Ito's cabinet. Shin? Ito leapt out of the cabinet. His face was pale and his hand was over his mouth. Be quiet! He crouched down to the ground, trying his best not to scream. It was only I wondered. It was only then that I realized that the cabinet I'd stuffed Ito in was already occupied. I could see that the lamp above the door was red. I hadn't had time to check, but still, that was a horrible thing to do to someone. Poor Ito. Shin, are you okay? Sorry, it was an emergency. If it was an emergency, you'd be dead by now, asshole. Really, I'm sorry. Forget it. Let's just go. Come on. Ito staggered to his feet. But then he collapsed to the floor. I waited for him to calm down, then opened the door to the breaker box like the girl had done. A secret door. Yeah. I looked deep inside the box. There is an RFID scanner like the ones they use to train turnstiles inside. We can't open this without the card. That wasn't good. What should we do now? I hadn't anticipated this. But then Serica, who'd been fiddling around with different parts of the wall, let out a small cry.
なんだ
What is it?
ちゃんと
It doesn't look like this was shut right.
何
What? Serica pointed to her feet. The wall was set to slide upon rails on the floor, but some kind of cloth had gotten stuck and jammed them, so the door wasn't shut all the way. There is something up with Serica and these open doors, I swear to God.
伊藤手を貸せ
Ito, help me.
オーケー
The two of us yanked the door to the side. We heard a loud clunk, like something was unlocking, and then the wall started to slide open. One of the men had dropped a handkerchief or something onto the rails. When Serica pulled it off, the door began to move more freely. All that was left was to slide the door open, and beyond it
ま
was
た階段だぜ
more stairs. I could see stairs going down. There was a sub-basement below the hospital basement. The place was protected by very elaborate camouflage. Exactly, sure is convenient around here.
やばい雰囲気
This place seems pretty dangerous.
どうする
What do we do, Taku? We've come this far. I'm going down. To be honest, I was terrified at what I might find down there, but this was something I had to do no matter what. For just a moment, I thought of Kurisu. Takaru, please stop this. Don't do anything else.
これ以上はやめて
Onoe
Anyway, Ito, you guys
お
can
前た
stay
ちは
here.
ここで待ってても
冗談じゃ
Hell
ねえよ
Ito looked at the cabinets on the wall and moaned a little.
私も行く
I'm going to. I have to protect you if you need it.
守らな
逆だろ
You mean I need to protect you? Which of us was shaking back
誰
there?
だ
そんなことして
I
ない
was
もん
not. Yeah, he's really desperate to get that phone back. We all looked at each other and nodded a little, then began to descend the staircase. He's trying to get out, but in order to get out, he has to get further back in. And there you go. As we went down, it got darker, and the air got heavier and more humid.
大丈夫かオノエ
Anyway, you okay? Yeah. And after we'd gone down for a few minutes, excuse me, we ran into a door. We'd probably gone down about a floor. I turned the knob and it opened easily. Maybe it had been locked to begin with. Ah,
ここは
what is this place? It was dimly lit. It was a dimly lit, musty-smelling hallway. It was clear that the place hadn't been abandoned, and there wasn't a layer of dust everywhere. It even felt like it had been cleaned. But it felt so old. There was a sense of desolation, as if no one had wanted to use this place for anything for a very long time. Had it been like this since the hospital above us was built? In this air, I knew it. The sides of my head started to hurt as the horrible memories came back.
ね
Hey, Taku, is this... Yeah. Serica seemed to remember too. That's right, this was the place. I didn't know how we'd done it, but when we were kids, the two of us had snuck in here, into the basement of Tokyo General Hospital. We were trying to investigate an urban legend about Amy. Amy is part of the cell phone thing that we see on occasion. Okay, what's the connection there? And then Serica and I... Like they're showing that girl something. They're making psychics here. Or something. We'd seen it. I tried to avoid thinking about it as much as I possibly could. But I'd failed. The memory would come back to me, then fade, and then come back again. As I'd grown up, I'd even tried to convince myself that I'd never seen anything at all. But I'd failed at that too. It was unreal, like something out of a nightmare, but something in my heart told me that it was real. And it was real after all. There's either a mirror or a second girl. Yes, it was real. I was sure of it. Help me. Actually, I wonder if that's a protagonist, one of the girls or something from the first game. I don't know. Taku, let's go. I don't like this place. Let's go.
おい
Huh? What's gotten into you two?
二人とも
Ito realized that there was something wrong with Sarika and I and tried to pull us back up the stairs. But we couldn't do that. There were suddenly footsteps behind us. Alpha, it's not a girl from the first game, but she definitely looks similar. I think it's intentional to make people think it, who played it think that. Okay. Makes sense. Huh? Huh? I could hear what sounded like the panting of a beast. I could hear what sounded like the panting of a beast behind me. I could feel its warm, stinking breath on my neck. Something's there.
何か
I couldn't turn around. I wanted to fall to the ground in terror. But if I did that, I knew somehow that the thing behind me would attack. Suddenly I heard Sarika's thin, frail voice. She should have been right next to me, but for some reason I couldn't see her.
おの
Onoe? Help me. And then her voice cut off. And then there was the sound of something being crushed. Oh, God. And then the sound of what sounded like someone kneading a ball of meat. And mixed with it was the sound of snapping bones. What the hell? Ito turned around and suddenly froze with terror. Miyashiro, what is that?
何なんだよ
What the hell is that?
おい
No, you idiot, don't look. If you look, it will kill you. So don't look. A bloody piece of meat fell to the ground at our feet. It was what used to be Sarika. What the hell? What? Where did this come from? Ito screamed. I couldn't help myself. I turned around to look at what he was seeing. And what I saw was the hell? It's that kind of it's what's her name? The lab coat marks it, but what the heck was going on there? It was standing there, moaning in a voice that was filled with hatred and pain. Gigalomaniacs. Well, we got through a chapter and a half this time. What the hell? Yeah, Mio. What was that? What the hell was that? A giant woman with a head like a sumo sticker? It was almost like a bad joke. I wanted to laugh. This hilarious looking monster was going to be what killed me. What the hell kind of death was that? That's right. Laugh. Laugh. If you laugh, that thing isn't scary at all. What the hell? Well, he's going insane. The giant woman's hand stretched out for me. As it moaned in pain, its arms moved in to crush me. And suddenly, my vision went black. I couldn't see anything. Then I realized it had probably crushed my eyes. That hilarious-looking sumo sticker woman had crushed my eyes. Okay, we're in another delusion. He's messing with us with these delusions. I was going to be torn apart like Sarika and killed. It was the funniest thing in the world. Could you even imagine anything stupider?
おい
Hey,
何をしている
what are you doing? Suddenly I heard a sharp voice next to me. Something moved over my mouth to stop me from laughing. I was grabbed from behind and the thin but powerful arms were wrapped around my neck. It hurt. I couldn't breathe.
おとなしくしろ
Stay quiet. Don't make any more loud noises.
静かにする
If you promise to stay quiet, I'll let you go. Otherwise, I'll choke you until you pass out. Oosh. I nodded as hard as I could. And then the hands around my neck relaxed, and it became much easier to breathe. Sheesh. My vision came back at the same time. Whoever had grabbed me had covered my eyes as well as my mouth. They hadn't been crushed after all. Where's that woman? Where's that monster? Calm down, I said. Sheesh. I doubled over in pain as she punched me in the stomach. I could feel stomach acid coming up into my throat and burning it. But the pain made my head feel much clearer. When I looked up, I didn't see a monster with the head of a sumo sticker anymore. Just a dark, musty hallway. Huh? What? Was that just a hallucination? Man, him and his delusions are getting, like, bleeding into the actual game rather than us getting a choice. What the hell? Are you okay? Oh, wait, Ito, what did I... You had some kind of fit, and then you started to yell. We almost panicked too, and then Kunosato came to help us. Kunosato? Kunosato, wasn't that... Oh, right, the girl who was with Shinjo. God damn amateurs. What are you even doing in a place like this? Yeah, I remember that cold voice. I looked back at the speaker. Yep, that's her. It doesn't look like someone brought you here, which means... Did you sneak in here? How? How? Even we had a hell of a time getting the key to this place. So how did you get here? Sure, we had a bit of a bad time in the autopsy room, but it hadn't really been hard to get here. None of the doors had been locked. When I told her that, Kunosato glared at us with suspicious eyes. Kunosato? Whatever. Anyway, you're in the way. Go home. Serica, something is opening these doors for us. Something. I don't know what it is, but something is definitely doing that. Come on, you can't just do that to us. I appreciate you saving us, but you can't just... The next instant, Kunosato had closed the gap between Ito and herself and started strangling him. I told you not to make noise. Did you not hear me? Ito nodded, tears coming out of his eyes. I could understand why. I didn't know how she could store so much power in her tiny body, but I'd just felt it for myself. Ito rubbed his throat in pain as she let him go. I'll say it again. You're in the way. Now go. Her voice was intimidating enough that I almost obeyed, but we'd come here for a reason. And... this place had something to do with our past. If I could, I wanted to find out what happened then. Maybe we could be rid of the nightmare that had been making us suffer for so long. So even though she scared me, I needed to tell her straight. We're here because we have something we have to do. We can't go home just because you tell us we do. Onoe? That was what I was trying to say. Onoe is psychic. There's no way. You're Onoe? You're Onoe Serica? Yes, that's right. What is it? Nothing. Just leave. I know it's dangerous, but we have to. Who said I was worried about you? Huh? I'm here for my own reasons. I don't want you screwing up and keeping me from doing what I came here to do. How cold. Why are you here then? It's got nothing to do with you. She turned around and started to walk away. Fine, we'll do what we want then. We will. What? She turned around and stared at us. Her glare was like a fierce panther's. I swallowed my words, but Serica didn't. We're not going to leave if you won't even tell us why.
貴様
You. Come on, Takushin.
しんちゃんも行こう
Let's hurry and get that
トイ
phone
レど
back.
この
Yeah.
やっぱ女
Man, women are strong when it counts.
強えな
Ito whispered in my ear. Fine. Follow me then. Just do what I tell you, okay? Huh?
いいですか
Is that alright? Ito had become very polite toward her after she strangled him.
時間がないんだ
There's no time, and it's taken a lot of careful investigation to get this far. I don't want you getting found of causing a fuss and then ruining everything.
騒ぎを起こ
Her
される
arrogant manner was almost enough to make me talk back to her, but then I realized something. If she'd done a lot of a careful investigation, that meant she had information that we didn't. So wouldn't it be better to pretend to obey for now?
それで
And then in the end, we can use you.
してやる
話は終わりだ
We're done talking. Follow me along the wall. No loud noises or talking.
大きな音や声は出すな
She looked down the hallway, then moved over to the wall. And then she started to move, quickly and quietly. I made eye contact with Ito and Serika, then followed her. The further down the hallway we went, the darker it got. The lights were sporadically placed, and half of them were burnt out. You had to look carefully to see more than a few meters ahead. The only thing I had to guide me were the black-haired girl in front of me and the wall that I was touching with my hand. The wall hadn't been repaired for a long time. In some places the paint had fallen off, and in parts the steel beams underneath were exposed. Oh boy, I think I'm reaching my limit on reading. This game does a number on me reading everything. My God. Hold on. Little break. I only have like 15 minutes left, but yeah. Drinks out the abandoned. You watch a lot of videos about abandoned places, and the description sounds right. Look of painting falling off walls. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Got my throat. Ugh. Probably best not to make too many theories this early. I'm sure we're missing plenty of context. That's how a good mystery works. Oh yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm not saying I'm convinced of any one thing here or there. But I'm trying to pick up on the clues that are being placed. And that's sort of my goal right now. I don't think I'm right at all. But, yeah. Put out enough theories and maybe I get it right. Although I didn't see psychics coming, that's for sure. He talked about it, but I'm like, well, he's just I don't know, it's just something, a way of saying something. Alright. This place must have been built a long, long time ago. We walked through the underground labyrinth as quietly as we could. None of my five senses were of any use to me now, and I had no idea where I was or how I'd gotten there. But Kunosato seemed to know exactly where she was going. Looking back, maybe we were lucky to meet her. What's that? I had no idea how long we'd been walking, but we finally came to a part of the hallway with a row of doors on the opposite wall. The doors were made of steel and looked very strong. On the upper part of each was what looked like a number plate. There were tiny windows on the doors, but they had thick bars on them. They looked like the solitary confinement cells I'd seen on a TV show once. Are there people in here? No, no way. The space beyond the bars was pitch black, and I couldn't tell if there was anything inside. That's kind of creepy. Shut up and keep walking. Sorry. Ito quickly apologized, but Kunosato turned around, walked up to him, and wrapped her hand around his throat again. I'm not playing around here. You're going to get killed. Not a good day for It's a very rough night for Ito. Ito nodded again and again until she finally glared at him one last time and let him go. Whew. He put his hand to his throat and moaned a little. It was obvious that Kunosato wasn't messing around. Maybe this place was more dangerous than I thought. Suddenly I heard the sound of someone pounding the door from the inside. Someone was inside?
なんなんだよ
What the hell's going on?
静かにしろ
Be quiet.
騒
Don't
ぐな
make a fuss. But... The hell? We almost screamed, but when we saw Kunisada's glare, we quickly put our hands over our mouths. Have to be careful, Kunisada. Some people are into that. Yeah. Kobama? No, I haven't changed the stream schedule. I still stream Sundays and Mondays 9 to midnight. What the hell was that voice? Oh no. No. Serika tugged frantically at my arm. Then Ito grabbed onto me too. I wanted to cling to someone too, but there was no one for me to grab.
あれあっちの扉の中か
I
ら
have a stream. Oh, it's the old stream schedule. Yeah, I need to look into that. I need to figure out how to change that. Look, I can see eyes behind that door.
何
What? I looked over where Ito was pointing and tried to see for myself, but I couldn't see anything. You're imagining it, man. No, I'm sure I saw them. Those were definitely eyes. La la la. Now there was singing. I could hear a girl singing in a tiny, barely audible voice. Creak, creak. A woman was pushing an old baby carriage down the hallway towards us. She was the one singing. Oh, that's creepy. La la la. Serika and Ito cringed in terror. My heart was beating so fast and so loud that I could hear the sound echoing in my ears.
止まれ
Don't move.
ついてじっとし
Get
ろ
up close to the wall and stay put. She can't see us. But
いいから
do it. Don't talk. Kunisada pushed her back up against the wall and stopped breathing. We did the same, our bodies shaking with fear as we moved. You want me to sing some more, right? The sound of the creaking old carriage got closer and closer as the woman passed near us. Kunisada was right. Her eyes were hazy and out of focus, and she didn't seem to notice us. But she was only a meter away. La la la. Slowly, slowly, she sang as she pushed the carriage right past us. Ito was so terrified his body started to spasm. He gave a small cry. La la. The woman stopped right in front of us and slowly turned around. Her empty eyes stared at us, and then slowly, jerkily, like a broken machine, she tilted her head. We clung to the wall and held our breath, unable to move a muscle. We were too scared to even close our eyes. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted out. I wanted to get away from here. If I stayed here another minute, I was going to go crazy. The woman stared at us for what felt like hours. But then, she looked forward once more, as if nothing had happened, and started to walk again. La la la. We almost collapsed to the ground in relief. I couldn't take my eyes off of her as she disappeared into the darkness.
自分たちがどういう
Do you understand what kind of place you're in now? Even as we'd almost been crushed by the terror, Kunisada had been completely calm.
帰りたいと
I don't care if you want to go home. It's too late now. That room is what we're here for.
そこが目的の部屋だ
Kunisada moved away from the wall and stared straight in front of us.
目的の
That room.
部屋
I followed her gaze to a pair of double doors in the darkness. They were different than the others. They looked like the doors to a normal lab. Come on, don't fall behind. Kunosato headed towards the doors, seeming completely unafraid. Serika's legs were shaking too much for her to move, so Ito and I helped her as we followed. When we got to the door, Kunosato took out what looked like a card key from her skirt pocket. This door had a modern electronic lock unlike the others we'd seen so far. She put the card key up to the reader and the door swung open silently. She disappeared into the room and we quickly followed. We all gasped as we entered the room. An entire wall of the room was lined with monitors. They were probably set up to observe something, but every one of them was off, so there was no way to tell what. But it was hard to believe that someone would set up something like this in a normal hospital. Hey. Yes? Kunosato turned towards Ito and gave him an order in a flat, emotionless voice. You can at least stand guard, right? Listen for any sounds outside the door. Let me know if anyone comes. Roger. Kunosato nodded, looked around the room, and then headed straight for a computer. She took a look at the wiring behind it and then flipped the power switch. The machine started to make a low noise. It works? You can tell by looking at it, right? But is it okay to just boot it up like that? Why? Because if it's connected to the net, they might know you turned it on. Don't worry, I've confirmed that it's a standalone system. Oh, that explained it. If that was true, at least we wouldn't have to worry about someone seeing it from the outside. Did you think that any ideas you could come up with I wouldn't have come up with already? Don't insult me like that. She was as obnoxious as ever. Neither of us knew the first thing about you, though, so could you really blame us with something that neither Ito nor I could say? The OS on the computer booted up. I looked at the screen and saw Kunosato was entering some kind of password. The password was accepted and the screen filled with several folders. She opened them up and began carefully checking the contents of each one. Unfortunately, many of the files were written in English, and we had no idea what they said. Kunosato, however, was reading through each one and nodding. This whole folder's got a password on it, which means this is where... She seemed to be trying to unlock the password at an incredible speed. Hey. What? You ever see her at school? No? Why? She was at school wearing our uniform, so she's probably a student, but I guess you've never seen her either, huh? Are you serious? Ito seemed more shocked than I expected. You're kidding, right? You're telling me I missed a pretty girl like this? Okay. You know what? It's not a scene shift, but it's a tone shift. The silly tone has come out for some reason. And you know what? That's a pretty good spot to stop, I'd say, as we figure out what the heck she's typing. But hey, we made it all the way from chapter 3 to chapter 5. So we're about, I'd say we're getting relatively close to the halfway point, which is kind of exciting. If we keep going at this rate, I'd say we'd probably get here maybe about 12 sessions. Yeah, sure is a lot of not listening for noise outside right now, that's for sure. Alright, let's see who we can raid real quick. Just to set that up. I got a suggestion for Crimson A from Sonic Joe. Otherwise, of course, we'll be back next Sunday for even more Chaos Child as we approach that halfway point and get closer and closer to, I guess, the end. Figuring out what the heck's going on, but we definitely made some progress here where there's all like character development before. Now it's just like, okay, plot going forward. Not sure what it's going to lead to, but we'll see. It's pretty wild for sure. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow for more Outer Wilds as we continue another loop and see if I can figure out what the heck to do next in that game, as that's kind of open-ended as well. So yeah, we got some mysteries to solve in both of our streams going on right now, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And our suggestions for raids are Crimson A from Sonic Joe, which is playing Majora's Mask. So Majora's Mask or is Maui's playing Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. So Majora's Mask or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. What would you guys prefer? Yeah, my mystery arc. It's not stopping anytime soon as we're getting to Danganronpa after this game. 2 for Zelda, 2 for Pokemon. Submit on for Mystery Dungeon. Okay, looks like there's more for Mystery Dungeon. Don't worry, Sonic Joe. We'll rate another one of your suggestions soon. I know you always have a bunch of suggestions. So yeah, we'll go with Crimson A for Is Maui for now. And as for our raid message, you know what, Jessica? I think I like that. Sticker Shock, I think, works. Later, Jason Rocks. Yeah, let's go with Sticker Shock. That works. But yeah, that's it for now. I will try to figure out what to do for that whole scheduling thing that's confusing people. So I'll definitely take a look at that and go from there. But yeah, hope you all are have a wonderful week. Hope to see you tomorrow. And yeah, definitely getting some having some more water after this, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. And if not, if you're just here for Chaos Child, we'll see you next Sunday as we figure out what's on this computer, if we even get told by Kunasato. Who knows? But yeah, you all have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Bye.